Hello, Northwest Arkansas. Welcome to the Bird's Eye View, Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. And I am your host, Nick Limbird, with my co-host, Tara Limbird.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest today. Who is this with us today?
Hi, I'm Ellie Limbird.
Ellie's our daughter and realtor extraordinaire in training. So.
Yeah, we've been in real estate since before Ellie was born, so I have a feeling that Ellie will either grow up in our footsteps or she will run as fast as she can and never touch real estate ever, right?
Sure. Well, thank you for joining us on our show, Bird's Eye View, Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. We are with Limbird Real Estate Group, in case you didn't know that, and we just recently celebrated a 5th year anniversary.
That's right. Yep, 5 years, 10 years as a team, and 5 years as a company.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun and selling real estate, huh?
That's right. I know it's been a quick, long ride, but it's happened very quickly.
Sure. Well, like I mentioned, we are with Limbird Real Estate Group, and Tara, tell us if they want to reach out and get any information about us or anything that we do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can reach us by phone if anybody uses that these days, but it's 855-755-SOLD. Or go to our website at limbirdteam.com. That's L-I-M-B as in bird, I-R-D, team. As Nick always says, it's like a bird on the limb. Or even our Facebook page, facebook.com/Limbird team.
Sure. Well, we always have a topic of the show, and today it's going to be selling your home with the Limbird Real Estate Group, the Limbird home selling process. But before we do that, let's get kicked off like we like to always start the show. Let's talk about some positive stuff. What's going on good out there?
Well, it is October, so it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month across the country, and so that's always a fun month. Of course, COVID puts a few dampers on things because there's usually the Susan G. Komen thing is going on, and just breast cancer awareness in general. I do know actually a friend of mine is helping to volunteer wearing the pink wigs that they do to help raise money.
I've seen pictures of that already.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really neat idea.
It's October, so be sure and for all the ladies and for men out there to go to your doctor and have your mammograms done and all that. I think a lot of people are putting that kind of stuff off right now because they don't want to go to the doctor with everything going on, but it's too important to not pay attention to.
We've got to take care of ourselves and each other, that's for sure. And then also something good, we've got a new website launch.
Yes, we just launched our new website. It's got all the great features they had before, but just a few more videos and tutorials and just, in this day and age, people want to be able to research and find information on their own. Isn't that right, Ellie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we just want to put information out there, and you're welcome to call us, but I know a lot of people like to do that kind of digging on their own. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
available.
Everybody likes to be able to search in peace and privacy.
Yeah,
So,
for
kind
sure.
of the way of the future here. So, well, anyway, you had a morning funny or something you wanted to share you thought kind of was worth a laugh?
For sure. On Bird's Eye View, Real Estate Northwest Arkansas, we're trying to take some steps out of other people's playbooks. And, I'm a huge fan of Bobby Bones. He is from Arkansas, of course. And Ellie and I listen to him every morning on the way to school. And they do the morning corny. And I'm not sure that we'll be quite as corny, but I do have a little good one that I saw actually on Facebook today.
Oh, man, can't wait.
It is the election season, so kind of playing on that note, we said if you vote for Biden, we're still your friend. If you vote for Trump, we're still your friend. But if you sell your home and you don't use Limbird Real Estate Group, you're walking on thin ice.
Oh, man, there you go. All right, anyway, moving on there. One other thing we like to do on the show is we like to give a shout out to one of our support team members at Limbird Real Estate Group. Who's going to be our shout out this week?
Well, our shout out is somebody that sometimes here in our company is out of sight, out of mind, but she plays an important role in our team, and her name is Katie Bailey. Katie is actually one of our closing coordinators. She's been with us for a few years, so when you list with our team and you go under contract, we have two closing coordinators. Katie actually works outside of our office remotely. She lived here and she got transferred back home to North Carolina, and she's been wonderful. She works from home. Even pre-COVID, she worked from home. She does a great job. She is on top of things, and she knows how to keep that paperwork together. And you know how it is, Nick. We're salespeople. Salespeople are not always great at keeping
That's true. She's definitely the glue that keeps things moving forward, and we wouldn't be where we are without her.
Absolutely.
Her hard work. So, well, with that being said, we do have our special guests, and so I want to turn over to my beautiful daughter, Ellie. And I think we had a few things we want to talk with her about today.
Yeah, so Ellie, why don't you again tell everybody who you are?
Hi, I'm Ellie Limbird.
Ellie, and where do you go to school?
I go to school at St. Vincent de Paul.
And where is that's in Rogers, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So what grade are you in this year?
I'm in 4th grade.
And who's your teacher?
Mr. Martin.
Oh, good. So far, 4th grade's going well, right?
Yes.
Other than that pesky math homework occasionally, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and Ellie, how old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
All right, Ellie. Well, thought it might be interesting, and our viewers thought it might be interesting to hear about real estate from a 9-year-old's perspective. So, I have lined up a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm curious, do you know what the average home price is here in Northwest Arkansas?
No, but could I take a guess?
Yes.
15,000.
15,000? Well, I sure wish. Not quite. Right now, the average home price in Northwest Arkansas is right around, about 230, 240,000. Kind of depends on which area you look at. But that's the average home price, Ellie. Can you imagine that? $230,000?
I bet a lot of buyers wish they could find $15,000 houses.
Heck yeah. That'd be awesome. Do you know how much it costs to buy a home? How much money?
The average.
How much money you would need to buy a home? You could take a guess.
How about 30,000?
Ooh, that's actually so not a bad guess, but that's a little high. If you're buying a $240,000 home, depending on which loan you used, you would need about 3 to 5% down. So that's anywhere from about $6,000 to $10,000 plus closing costs, which could be another $4,000 to $5,000 approximately. So not quite, but not bad. Let me ask you this. What do you think makes Limbird Real Estate Group different than other companies out there?
Well, I think it makes it different because we're basically family.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah, and it's true. You know, I went to a conference in North Dakota last week, and they were talking about that there's 5 F's in life. And let me see if I can remember all. Family, fitness, finance, friendships, and something else. What was the other one? Faith. So 5 F's, and they said most people can only juggle about 3 F's at a time. So they said the reason where you work, the culture of where you work is so important is because that F is it may be your work, but that's your friendships. Because oftentimes friendships fall by the wayside when you're working hard. So when your workplace becomes your family, then that works out pretty good, right? Cool. How old do you think you'll be when you buy your first home?
Maybe about 19.
Okay,
That'd be good.
yeah, that's pretty nice. Most people, I'd say the average age, depending on what part of the country, is probably in their mid to late 20s. And so if you do 19, you'll be way ahead of the game. As we all know, we've all heard the time value of money. So the sooner you're able to invest, the better. And that may not mean much to you just yet, sweetie, but someday it will. All right. Nick, can you think of any other questions for Ellie?
No, I think she did wonderful. So I'd like to thank you for being our guest today. And we're going to go ahead and move into our main topic of what we're talking about here on Bird's Eye View Real Estate in NWA. And that is the Limbird home selling process. So, Tara, what do you think that means exactly?
Well, when people get ready to sell their home, excuse me, there's often many things that they need to think about. And so, you know, whether you're selling with us or someone else, we feel like we have a way where we help guide people through what is one of the most stressful things in their life. I just read in a magazine the other day, I think I shared this with you, blew my mind. Most people said selling a home was more stressful than a divorce, which blew my mind. And they said it was just barely less stressful than a death in the family.
Wow, that is incredible. And, you know, I guess we feel like we have good transactions and we don't feel like it's that at all. But that's quite interesting that the general population feels that way.
Yeah, it totally blew my mind. And so our philosophy has always been, how do we make it as stress-free as possible for our clients? I like to compare it to taking off on an airplane. There's going to be turbulence somewhere along the way, more than likely. But our job is to help get it to a safe landing. Because there's just going to be things that come up. There's little obstacles here and there, but that's our job is to help remove those or make them as at least amount painful as possible.
Sure, I think that's a great point. Absolutely. What are some things that when somebody is selling a home, what are some steps or things that they need to be aware of or maybe prepare for before they truly begin the actual process of the home selling?
Well, I think number one is they definitely need to declutter.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you'll remember probably 10 years ago, we got ready to sell our home and we decluttered, which the nice thing about it is if you're in the mindset that you're going to be moving, it's like you're pre-boxing everything. So we moved all that stuff to storage. And then you started looking around, you're like, dang, this place doesn't look too bad once we get all of our junk out of the way. So, number one, for showings, you have less stuff to clean up around, and you've already basically pre-packed. So, declutter.
Sure, I think that's a great point because a lot of times people, of course, are going to move anyway. Might as well begin the process.
Exactly.
And I find that people get in there and they easily get distracted by sometimes somebody's belongings or
Right.
they notice some collection that they may have of art or sports or whatever that may be. And all of a sudden they're there to look at the house, but their mind starts wandering thinking about those topics that they may see. So it sometimes can be a distraction and they don't fully take in the house as much. So I think that's a great point.
And when your home is cluttered, then it basically looks like your home is too small. So buyers, when they go in, if everything looks cluttered and the home looks too small, they're going to think this seller ran out of room, and I'm going to probably run out of room too.
Sure, that's a great point. We always talk about two of the most important rooms in the house are going to be the kitchen and typically the master suite. And so we always recommend having those two look as good as they possibly can. Well, we like to take as much off of the countertops, stuff of that nature, because it just shows the element of lots of space. And we don't want that to set that tone of, oh man, I cook a lot or have a lot of appliances. Where am I going to put all this stuff? Because that's already starting to make that person think, hey, maybe this isn't the house for me. So a lot of times we can do that and set the table for success.
Well, and the other thing I think is you want to depersonalize the home. I've often showed buyers homes, and when they walk in and they see pictures on the wall and pictures and picture frames, they immediately walk up and think and say, "Oh, I wonder if I know these people. I wonder why they're selling." You want people to be able to picture themselves living there.
Sure.
And if it's too personalized, then it's hard to do that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. At that point, you're right. They need to see their family in there, and sometimes when you've got too much going on with personal pictures and stuff, they don't get that feel because they feel like, hey, this is your house because there's still those pictures and belongings there. So that's a great point. So we definitely know staging and depersonalizing, decluttering is a big part, but what other things need to be done during the process?
Well, another one's going to be deep cleaning.
Oh, yes. Everybody likes a clean house.
That's right. I always say, if you can smell it, you can't sell it.
Yeah, that's true. And we've done this a long time, and we've seen a lot of houses, some good, some bad. And,
that's right.
But we've got some horror stories. But we do find historically that the ones that look brand new or as close to new as you can get it, that's your ultimate goal, don't you think?
Right. No, for sure. And I think, you want to find that one neighbor or that one friend or that one coworker that, will be brutally honest with you. Have them walk through your home and ask them if they could smell anything. Because sometimes we just get desensitized to it because we're around it all the time. Especially if you have pets. I know we're big pet lovers. We currently have 3 dogs. At one point we had 4 dogs and a cat.
Oh,
so
those were times.
Yeah, I hope our house smelled good. But sometimes, animals have accidents, and sometimes we just don't smell that anymore. So definitely want to make sure of that. That's
a great point. Once we get all the house ready to go, how does that process work? Once you get off the running and you get that first showing request, what sets us apart there?
Well, here's the thing. We have a system that we use where you're going to get either text or email or phone call notifications that if you live in the home that will allow you to say yay or nay, it's okay to show my home. Some people that we list their home, they don't live in the home. It may be investment property or they've already moved out of state. So they'll get notifications so they know what the process is. So the thing that we do after that is the follow-up. The follow-up's key because we want to know what did that person think of your home. And the thing is, Nick, we've sold many houses of our personal houses before, and I can tell you there's been times where I get that feedback and it ticks me off a little. I'm like, I can't believe they don't like my house. My house is great because we all are emotionally invested in our homes. But if we are hearing consistently the same thing over and over again, then we have to own that and think, okay, they keep saying it smells like a cat or whatever the case may be. I need to do something about it, So what do you think?
Sure, no, I think that's a great point. Feedback's crucial because a lot of times when buyers are coming in saying similar comments about a certain subject, you kind of start to see a trend there. And sometimes those trends can be, handled. For example, somebody may not care for a particular paint color in a bedroom or something along those lines. That's an easy fix if that's really what's holding us back. And then, other times there's other obstacles, and sometimes we can find ways to tweak those and make them not such a mountain and more of a molehill, or file them down and completely where it's not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really important.
Well, and one of the great things for any seller to do is we all have that honey-do list, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Mine
unfortunately.
never ends, apparently.
No, it doesn't. But that honey-do list is so important to get tackled before your home goes on the market, because we work with both buyers and sellers, so we understand the psyche behind them both. And when a buyer walks into a seller's home and they see there's things to be done, maybe it's $1,000 worth of repairs, but for some reason in that buyer's mind, that's $10,000 worth of repairs. And so that could either A, prevent them from even making an offer on your home, or B, they may make you a much lower offer than you wanted, because in their mind, they're now going to have to adopt and own all of the repairs that should have been made on your watch.
Sure. Well, I think that gets to a great point that we kind of skipped over a little bit, but one of the things that I think is crucial in properly marketing a property is to get professional photography and video under certain circumstances. It's amazing how long I've been in this business, and I see a lot of agents who use their cell phone to take pictures and post those.
Or you see the rearview mirror in the picture. You didn't get out of the car.
I've got a collection of photos over the years of, there's actually people sitting in a recliner while they take a picture and stuff of that nature.
The toilet seats up. Oh my gosh, that's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, I remember even seeing one where somebody had a vodka bottle at the nightstand. I was like, that doesn't reflect very well. But no, pictures on a professional level are crucial, because that really is the first opportunity you're going to get that exposure and make that first impression for that potential buyer looking. And if you're not doing a really good job with those pictures and make the house show as good as it can by decluttering, depersonalizing, deep clean, making it shine as best it can, you're really not setting yourself up for success, huh?
For sure. And one of the things that we help guide our sellers to, because this is where experience matters. This is when you've gone through and you've had these tough issues come up that now we can prep our sellers for, because with all the things going on right now with COVID and the economy and financing, in fact, we were just talking to one of our mortgage companies the other day, and they were talking about if you've missed one of your mortgage payments on your house, that you may have to wait 12 months from that point. Is we've had sellers before who were super close to actually selling their home and thinking they were going to go buy another home, but then found out they couldn't qualify just yet. So we're also going to sit down and go, what's the next step for you? Where are you moving to? And let's make sure we have all of our ducks in a row there, because can you imagine selling your home and then finding out, because you're in a contract, it's a legally binding contract, and then all of a sudden finding out, oh crud, I can't buy another home. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go?
Sure, no, that's a great point, and that's where I think the experience matters that comes in. You need to dig deep and see how you really need to help your clients. And some agents are very good about wanting to just take that opportunity and tell them whatever price that they want to list at, and just don't go deep enough sometimes, where they get down the road and then that they get their heart ripped out because they can't follow through with what they had planned, and it really breaks their dreams.
Yeah.
And that's something too that I think experience comes into play. Right now our market's very good, and a lot of people are just telling any price possible, but I think that's really where you need to dig deep and have somebody that's going to shoot you straight.
Now, pricing, I always say you can hire me to tell you what you want to hear or what you need to hear. So there's a million agents out there that'll tell you whatever you want, but you need someone that's going to be honest with you.
Well, I think we need to move on, but we can definitely go deeper. Maybe we'll pick this up in another episode.
No, definitely. And if you have more questions, that's what we're here for, because everybody's situation is different. So call us. We can do a consultation with you. It doesn't cost anything.
Sure.
So just set you up. In fact, if you're thinking of selling in, if it's 6 months or a year from now, some of these are things that you need to be thinking about now.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
Well, we do have a question from the audience on the Bird's Eye View real estate.
I see that. It's Miss Melissa from Springdale. She asked, in your opinion, what is the best way to save money? Terry, you want to take that?
Yeah, I say many people probably don't, but we're actually an endorsed local providers with Dave Ramsey. And how that kind of started is when we got married, you and I went through a Dave Ramsey financial peace course.
I
And
remember.
they offer them at churches. We've even held some here at our office. And they're great because how that helped us save money is at that time we took a snapshot of all of our debt. And a lot of times people think in their mind, oh, well, this credit card has a higher interest rate, so I want to pay that one off first. And Dave's model is look at which company you owe the least amount of money to and put everything you can to get that one paid off. And then it's called the snowball method. Then at that point, however much money you're applying towards it, now start taking that money and applying it towards another. And it just starts snowballing. But the best way to save money is to start paying off some of your debt and living more of a debt-free lifestyle if you can.
Sure, definitely taking a snapshot of your finances and forming a budget. What can you afford, and when is too much.
Right.
I think a lot of people with credit cards nowadays are, it's so easy to swipe it. And I'm guilty of that myself. But all of a sudden you get that bill the next month. You go, oh, I didn't realize I spent that much. It's very easy to do. So I think you got to be very disciplined and plan out what you're spending your money on.
For sure, and it's obviously more convenient, but if you just carry good old cash, it's amazing if you go somewhere and you could swipe your credit card for $100, or you have to pull out that Benjamin Franklin and hand it over.
That's a good point. I know it's a lot easier for me to swipe the plastic than to hand over some dollars. I know that's a mental hurdle, so that is a good way. That's a great point to kind of maybe slow down the spending.
No, for sure.
Cash, because cash is precious. We've all been taught that.
No, absolutely, and and especially in our world, in a self-employed type environment, it's very easy because when you get a paycheck, there's no taxes taken out. So some people just spend it all and don't realize. So you really have to just be disciplined and figure out how much you need to put back, and because it's so easy to do it now versus on when you get behind and have to catch yourself up.
Sure, no, it definitely can get out of control if you're not careful, especially with those interest rates on a lot of these credit cards. It's quick and easy to get into a hole if you're not careful.
No, for sure. Well, so anyway, if you do have any more questions, go to our Facebook page, go to our website, and we'd love to talk to you more about it. And in the meantime, we work with a lot of service industries that have to do with homes. If you are in the service industry and you'd be interested in being on our show, please reach out to us. You can go to our website or go to marketing@limbirdteam.com. And don't forget, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/LimbirdTeam. Give us a like. You'll be able to follow along a lot of these segments we're posting on Facebook, and they're nice to go back, and some of this stuff it may not pertain to you at this moment in time, but 6 months from now it does. So
sure. Well, we're here for the long haul, so we're not just here to work over the next month or two. So keep us in mind, and when you get ready to, or that person at work or church or a coworker, that's a great opportunity.
No, definitely. And going ahead and let you know, next week on the Bird's Eye View Real Estate Northwest Arkansas, our main topic is going to be how we started Limbird Real Estate Group and what we would do differently. So this is not just to talk about us, but we're self-employed. We're a small business and we're self-employed. And if you have a small business, or if you're looking to start your own business, these are going to be just tips and little things that we've learned along the way.
Sure, we can all mentor each other, even if you're not directly in the real estate business.
Absolutely.
Lots of these principles are applied in whatever business it is.
For sure.
Well, I wanted to thank you all for tuning in to Bird's Eye View Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. Once again, I am your host, and with my co-host, Nick and Tara Limbird of Limbird Real Estate Group. We appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next week, and get those questions in. Take care. Have a good week.